everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Huck. Today I'm doing a review for The Corruption of Hollis Brown by Ancrum. This is Ancrum's most recent release. It is a standalone YA contemporary paranormal romance thriller, maybe? There's a lot of things going on. And while that does not sound like something that I would normally read, once again, I just trust Ancrum and she always comes through. I always love her books. She can always sell me on a premise that does not sound like something I would ever read on my own, and yet I always become obsessed with it. In this, we're following our main character, Hollis Brown, who lives in a small factory town outside Chicago. Most of the families in this area are pretty poor. Most of the kids who are in his high school won't go to college, won't ever leave this town, and most of them will probably end up staying in this town and working in these factories. And that's essentially what Hollis is expecting from his own life. He feels like he's not really good at anything. He doesn't really have direction to his life, and even if he did have something that he wanted to pursue, he doesn't really have the opportunities or means to pursue anything. So he feels kind of listless, and that there is this element of futility to really doing anything. But because of this sort of listlessness, he also is really drawn to experiences of high intensity, to just sort of feel something. And so he does things like he stands near the train tracks as the train goes by to feel the pressure from the train. He starts fights, he picks fights and goads other kids at school into essentially just beating him up, because it's not like he knows how to fight. At school, he really only has two friends that he's very close with, and then he's very like prickly and standoffish, and as I said, kind of goads other people around him. And then one day he accidentally makes a deal with a ghost, and that ghost possesses his body, which he didn't really plan for that to happen. And the fact is, the ghost actually is kind of making his life better. He is helping Hollis kind of improve different areas of his life that he felt were immovable or inevitable. And along the way, he may or may not have a romance with this ghost that is now possessing his body. This book, my number one like overarching feeling about this was just this kind of feeling of overwhelm. You know, Hollis is drawn to these really intense experiences, and as the reader, we're drawn into those high intensity experiences as well, whether they're physical sensations or emotional experiences. And I think that Ancrum's writing really lends to this as well. The chapters are really short, but they always focus on these very kind of emotionally intense moments. There isn't like a lot of filler to it, and the writing itself is both beautiful but also like very clipped and snappy feeling. So it has this kind of intensity to it as well. Her writing can be very visceral in a way, and especially with the nature of this story that's being told, because so much of the story is taking place not just in Hollis's head, but in his body. His body is the main stage for where this story is taking place, as the two of them are both existing in this body, vying for control of the body, and then sharing this intense intimacy with each other as they are falling for each other while existing within the same body. And it has this very visceral quality to it because of that. And that is also then juxtaposed to the setting, which in a lot of ways feels very bleak. The setting itself feels bleak. Hollis feels like his future is very bleak, but then when the two of them come together, the world is made sparkling. Now, they are probably codependent. It may not be the healthiest of relationships. I don't know if you ever could really have a particularly healthy relationship with a ghost that possessed your body and now lives inside your head with you. But there is this great intimacy of living in a body, and also the intimacy of truly fully being known, because while they can shield some amount of their thoughts from each other, they are so intimately tied together. I feel like I'm using the word intimate way too much, but I feel like that is also just so much of what this story is. This book also, I think, is very thematically interesting. It has these themes around, you know, relationships and intimacy and the loneliness of our own making, and this like yearning for what is already inside us or what is already a part of us. It also, though, has themes around surviving under capitalism, systems and circumstances that keep the poor poor, and that bleak quality that comes with that, and not being able to imagine a future. And then also, what does it take to begin to see or believe in a future, and how to imagine that future and work towards it for yourself, for your community. As always, K. Ancrum just knocks it out of the park. This is a fantastic new installment in her catalog of work, and I gave this one 5 stars. Let me know if you have read this one, or if you're planning to read it, or what is your favorite K. Ancrum. I would love to know. But thank you all for watching, and until next time, bye.